Bush Radio. Bush Radio.
Your real talk radio.
Here we go.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
A country that don't learn from history will not understand why Isaac Adakaboro took up arms against the state. He died in 1968. Adakaboro was a man you saw in the University of Nigeria, Nsukka.
Yes. First and foremost, in those days, at the University of Nigeria, the man who easily could emerge as a president would be an Igbo man. But here was a Niger Delta person, whom we all unanimously elected, because he had revolutionary concepts about governance, even at student union level. He had revolutionary concepts about relationship between the university management and the student. If you remember then, as at that time, the University of Nigeria was being managed by Michigan State University. And it appeared that they just came and wanted to translate what they had in Michigan to University of Nigeria. And in many dialogue, he drew attention to this. You have to domesticate whatever you are bringing. You have to look at the reality of the Nigerian situation. I found him an eloquent speaker. I found him a very intelligent person. I found him a left of the center politician who subscribed, as at that time, like many of us, to the Marxist doctrine. But at the same time, he felt bad about his people because he left the university. He didn't finish. He left the university because he couldn't stand the fact that there was oil spillage in his area.
And he came from the community, Oloibiri, where oil was discovered.
Oil was first discovered in 1958.
So when he formed the Ijaw Volunteer Force, was it clear at the time that a time bomb had exploded in the Niger Delta?
You see, it had, but we didn't see it because we refused to see it. And because at that time, oil was not too significant in our revenue calculation. It became significant at about 1970, 71, and so on. When oil came in 1958, it was not important. In fact, if it was important, I'm sure the British wouldn't have left. They would still be here. They would have shown better interest in staying longer, But we didn't listen to what he was saying. We didn't even understand what he was saying. Somebody ought to have asked, why will a university student abandon his education to go and fight when he wasn't trained?
And in February 1966, he declared the Niger Delta Republic.
That was the time to have started an exercise that would probably have resolved this matter. We will have found out what really is the issue. Like I said earlier, Nigeria is not the only country producing crude oil from Delta. But Nigeria is the only country producing crude oil from an area and abandoning that area. How does a hen lay eggs for you and you refuse to give it maize?
On a good day, should we have studied the Adakaboro instinct at the time?
I believe so.
He wrote a book, The 12-Day Revolution.
Yes. I believe, in fact, when he opted to support Nigeria against the Biafran then, we ought to have had a debriefing session with him. What motivated you? Because historically, he's the first person to have attempted secession in Nigeria. We ought to have found out what was your motivation. Why did you do this? How do you think that these problems can be solved? And we will have taken off from there. You know, we've had too many lost opportunities in this country. I mean, when I think I feel like crying. I mean, after the Civil War, we lost also an opportunity. There was an IMT in Enugu that was producing bombs, that was doing Ogunike and things like that. What did you do with it?
Bush Radio, the Deep Insight Radio.